What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? I hope everybody had a happy holiday, however you chose to celebrate it. I hope everybody had a happy holiday. So, look, I know it's Christmas, and I hate to bring this to us on Christmas, but I told you guys I would keep you posted on this story, and this came across my desk, and so I had to bring it to the people. So, as you guys come on in, wipe your feet off, take a seat. They got my what's up, Chef John John? And listen, if I have time, I will drop the link if people want to come up and say whatever they need to say. As long as you're being respectful, you are free to share your opinion. Um, okay, at that time. So let's get into the things of the things. All right. So Larry Reed posted a video on his Instagram, and he posted the full video on his YouTube, and which led me to hey Ray, what's going on? I know on the Lord's Day. I'm sorry I didn't even say hi to the people. Look, you guys, I want to go ahead and just say hi to everybody. I apologize for not doing individual hellos. I know I normally do that, but I want to go ahead and just jump in. Um, I'm gonna just go ahead and get to the stuff. Which led me to the Instagram page for this young man. And I say young man because he's younger than me, So his name is, so when I saw the name is, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right, Manasseh Jordan. So when I saw that his last name was Jordan, it made me go, Jordan. So what Larry Reed was saying on his page was, former TD Jakes mentee speaks out, da 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 da. And so I saw the name Jordan, and I know that Larry Reed's mentor is Bishop Jordan. So the first thing I thought was, well, is there a connection? See, I'm telling y'all how I want to let y'all know how I made these connections before I just start telling you that this person is who they say they are, because I had to verify for myself. So I want to let you guys know that because I verified, I made you verify. Okay. Kelly, and see, that's why I went down the rabbit hole. Kelly said, I don't know, but I really feel Larry's behind all of this. Now, I'm not gonna say I feel like Larry's behind all of it because I really don't. But I wanted to know what the connection was, right? When I saw Jordan, I immediately thought, I know that Bishop Jordan is Larry Reed's mentor. So I said, well, is there a connection between Larry Reed and this Manasseh young man, Manasseh Jordan? Well, there is. Manasseh Jordan is Bishop Jordan's son. Okay, I did the Google thing, and that is one of his sons. That is his son. Okay, so I went to his Instagram. I went through his Instagram, went through his da 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 da. So then I said, well, how do we know for sure? No disrespect, Larry Reed, if anybody takes this video back to him. But I said, well, how do we know for sure that this is a former mentee of TD Jakes? Because anybody could say anything, right? How do we know that this is his former mentee? So I Googled it, and I'm going to show you what I Googled, and I'm going to show you what the Google machine gave me, okay? So that y'all will know. So that y'all will know. And I'm going to show you everything I saw. I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to give you both sides of this coin. I'm going to be fair, okay? Because when I Google, I'm going to show you what Google showed me, okay? So let me share my screen. When I put in Prophet Manasseh, comma, TD Jakes, that's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on. Yeah. When I put in Prophet Manasseh, comma, TD Jakes, this is what pops up. Can y'all see the screen? I want to make sure y'all see what I see. What up, schoolboy? Let me see. Let me make it big so you guys can see what I see. Do you see what I see? Okay. So you guys see what I see, right? You see up top what I Googled. I Googled Prophet Manasseh Jordan, comma, TD Jakes. I didn't put the word mentee. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to see what would come up, what would be the connection. So if you look here, a bunch of YouTube videos pop up, a bunch of websites pop up. But if you look at the YouTube and you look in the description, this video was originally on TD Jakes' page. You see it had over 1 million views. Then it was, and then you see right here where it says 2016 Mentee Award. If you go, hold on. If I pull up, let me pull up another page. Let me pull up another page. And it'll show you multiple videos that do the same thing. Again, for those of you that already know this information, that's fine. I just want to make sure that I'm showing you guys the rabbit hole that I fell down so that you guys will see where I came from in all of this. Okay. Here it is right here. No, I keep coming up with the wrong one. Is that the one I'm looking for? Okay, this is the one I'm looking for. All right, so here's another Google search. Again, this time, if you see on here, this time I did put the word mentee in, and a bunch of YouTube videos pop up, and it says the same thing. You can see where these videos originally were posted on TD Jakes' website, and all of these videos that were originally posted on TD Jakes' website have millions of views. They have millions of views, and then under the description, it says TD Jakes Mentee Award 2016. So that for me was confirmation enough, because this is YouTube, and I saw a couple of websites. So for me, that was confirmation enough that this person was once upon a time a mentee of TD Jakes. Now, again, I want to be fair, and I want to let you guys know everything that popped up. And this is not to be discouraging. This is just to be fair, because I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, you only told this, you didn't tell that. I'm telling y'all everything. Again, if I go back to my first search, where all I put was Manasseh Jordan, TD Jakes. If I go to my first search, you will see that there was, you see right here where there was a YouTube video done, that said, oh, wait a minute, this might not be the right one. I got some tabs open, y'all. I was doing so much moving around. Hold on, let me find the right tab. Okay, here's the right one right here. Okay, let me go to the second. Let me go to the other tab. Because I want y'all to see it. I don't want to tell y'all. I want y'all to see it for yourselves. So hold on, give me a second. Let me go to the right tab, because I want y'all to see it. Because again, I don't want anybody to say, really you being biased. I ain't being biased. I'm trying to give you what I got the best way I know how to give it to y'all, okay? If I go to... what I need to do is just close the... here it is right here. Okay. This is the one where this is the search where I typed in Manasseh Jordan, TD Jakes mentee. You see where I wrote mentee in, you will see that this video does pop up. It says false prophet, Manasseh Jordan exposed. Now, this video is from 12 years ago. All right. To be fair, this video is 12 years old. But again, if you see, it still says in the description, TD Jakes Mentee Award 2016. I did not watch this video. This is a 7-minute video. I ain't watch it. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I did not watch it. So I do not know anything about this particular YouTube channel, but I want to be fair that I'm showing you guys everything that I saw. Now, I only saw 2 negative things about Manasseh versus all of the other things I found. I found another like website that exposes I think it's called Dust Off the Bible or something, that is supposed to expose, you know, false prophets and stuff. And they were saying that he was a scammer. But I feel like anytime somebody is collecting money and makes a lot of money through the church and through various things, they're called a scammer. And again, I don't know him, so I'm not saying that he did or he didn't. I don't know. Don't know him. Listen, y'all know I'm new to all of this. I don't know none of these people like that. So I'm only telling you what I found. You might have to yellow your Wi-Fi router. Is it messing up again? Y'all, I keep telling y'all, it's not the Wi-Fi. Please, y'all, please. It's not the Wi-Fi. Please. I've told y'all that a million times. It is not the Wi-Fi. It is StreamYard. It's not the Wi-Fi. Anyway, Come on in, you guys. I'm sorry if it's giving you guys a whole is it really bad? Is it really, really, really bad? Tell me if it's really bad in the chat. Because C. Patterson said that it's acting up. Is it really bad? The thumbnail, what does the thumbnail say that's wrong? Cindy, the thumbnail doesn't say anything wrong. That's why I'm telling you how that's how I'm telling y'all. Thank you, Real Street News. Thank you so much. Okay, a lot of people saying no. I don't think my thumbnail is anything wrong with my thumbnail. It says that former TD Jakes mentee urges victims to come forward. When I show you the video of what he said, you'll see what I'm saying. It's distorted off and on. All right. Well, I apologize for the people who are having problems. I understand, Cindy, but I again, that's why I'm going down. Thank you, L Love. Thank you for the cash out, my love. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's why I'm telling y'all how I got to my conclusion. But I understand, Cindy, I know it's coming from love. All right. So TD Jakes also, I found a video also referencing TD Jakes giving Bishop Jordan his flowers, so to speak. It's a short clip that I found on Facebook where TD Jakes is speaking on Bishop Jordan and saying that Bishop Jordan was a spiritual leader to him. Again, it's a very short clip. If you Google, you'll find it. Hold on, I will play it. Give me a second, I'll play it. All right, let me let you guys hear it.
Is an amazing thing. One liberating idea can change everything. One breakthrough, change everything. My father went to West Virginia on a job. We didn't live in West Virginia. We lived in Mississippi. My family was in Mississippi. I wasn't even born yet. My father went to West Virginia to do a job. My mother liked the mountains and decided to stay. And that one decision changed the trajectory of my life. There was a prophet who didn't even know me at that time, named Prophet Bernard Jordan, who was prophesying to 50 states. And he prophesied to West Virginia and said, "Oh, West Virginia, hear ye the word of the Lord. Out of the mountains shall come a prophet unto the nations." He said he will.
All right, and again, in full disclosure, that clip was on Larry Reed's Facebook. So again, I want to let you guys know what I found, where I found it, and all of that good stuff. So to be fair, that came from Larry Reed's Facebook channel. Okay. All right. What am I doing? Okay. So right, Bernard Jordan. He's an archbishop. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful. Bishop Jordan. Okay. All right. Now, the reason why all of this is important in the perspective of this conversation is because for those of you who saw Larry Reed, I see people talking about it in the chat. For those of you who saw Larry Reed's video earlier this week, the days are running. Well, when I say earlier this week, this is Monday. So last week, the days are running together. So I cannot say the exact date. Don, if you remember the name of that video, you could drop that link in the chat. If you remember the name of that video, it was the one that he did after TD Jakes released the statement. So it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. It was when TD Jakes' representatives released a statement. It was that video. If you go towards the end of the video, Larry Reed starts talking. And Larry Reed said something very interesting. What Larry Reed said was, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the quote in front of me. So let me paraphrase. Basically, what Larry Reed said was that TD Jakes sent inappropriate pictures to his friend's son. I ain't saying that it's Bernard Jordan. I'm not even saying that Larry Reed was right. But what I'm saying is that Larry Reed said it on his video that he said that. I'm telling you what he said. I ain't saying it. I'm telling you what he said. And the video was there unless he took the video down. If he took the video down, then I take back what I said. Because if the video ain't there to prove it, I ain't said nothing. Now, that's the reason why, for me, I was like, hold on, let me connect some of these dots. That's why I did that. And that's why I walked y'all through it the way I did just now. So y'all would know that Bishop Bernard Jordan, T.D. Jakes once considered Bishop Bernard Jordan a spiritual leader. I don't know if he still feels that way or not, but once upon a time, he did. Then Bernard Jordan's son, once upon a time, was a mentee of T.D. Jakes. That I showed you the proof that that's all on the internet, okay? Thank you. Don dropped the link to the video. Thank you, Don. So you guys want to go here for yourself, there's the video. And if you go towards the end of the video, I would say you could fast forward to maybe the last 5 to 7 minutes of the video, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Okay. So now I'm going to let you hear what Manasseh said. Now, these are his words, not mine. It's a 5-minute video. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play it uninterrupted because y'all like to say I be interrupting people. I'm going to play it uninterrupted, and then I'm going to give my commentary. I'm going to play it uninterrupted, 5 minutes, and then I'm going to give my commentary. Now, I'm going to say that. Ray Bishop, listen. That's it. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying. All right, let me put this up. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to let y'all hear it. Let me set the video up. Let me set it up. I can picture TJ salivating over a little. I gotta read these before I say it out loud. Do you have permission? CCs are tripping. This is from his Instagram page. This is not, I'm not taking this from anybody's YouTube channel. I'm taking this from Manasseh Jordan's Instagram page. I don't know. That's a good question. Well, maybe I should stop and start it then. Maybe I should get my commentary then. All right, you guys. You're right. That's a good point. I guess I'm gonna have to just give my commentary, and I'm gonna claim fair use on this, you guys. I'm gonna have to claim fair use, and I will be giving my commentary. All right, I'm gonna claim fair use. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Okay. So this is coming directly from his Instagram page. If you want to find him, Manasseh, does the really and really be stand for really messy? Don't do this to me, Mims. Mims, don't you do this to me. All right, so I'm gonna play it though. Just know I got a strike when I talked about TD Jakes' weird behavior. Well, Real Street News out. Yeah. Hold on, what you said. Thank you for the super chat, Mims, which is shady ass. All right, let's play it.
I've been saying that in 2024, it's going to be the year of exposure. And God is exposing certain people that normally was able to use their power, their influence, and their money to silence people. Those days are over. And before I hear people saying that, oh, this is sowing tear in the body of Christ, the Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth. So before you say, touch not my anointing, do my prophets no harm, that's a nescient statement, because that scripture is referring to Israel. You're taking the scripture out of context. And if the Holy Spirit is the spirit of truth.
Child, don't we know about these pastors saying, touch not my anointed? Chef Don, don't we know about the pastors using that scripture over and over and over again?
And speaking truth is not sowing tears. It's bringing reformation and healing. In my 20s, I got to be around some of the biggest men and women of God. And I got to witness things because I got to see them without their armor. One of the things that really happens, and seldom talk about, is that there's something called grooming. And it happens in the Pentecostal church. It happens in many churches, but I'm referring to the Black church specifically. And what that means is that there'll be a bishop, a pastor, apostle, someone who has big conferences. Everybody knows, oh my God, they're the holy man of God. And they will pick their victims and they.
All right. So he's talking about grooming in the Black church. He's talking about that in his 20s, he was around a lot of these big time pastors and he was able to see them without their armor. He spoke on the fact that he just said about pastors who have these big time conferences. Now, to be clear, he never says TD Jakes' name. He never says TD Jakes' name. So you just have to listen to what he's saying and know that there is a connection between him and TD Jakes. He never says TD Jakes' name.
They groom them. And it first goes through stage one where they ask questions. What are you into? What do you like? You need to tell daddy everything. And so they're using verbosity and they're using this type of garrulous narrative to try to make you feel comfort, to make you build comfort with their victim. And then from there, it goes into stage two. And stage two is where it begins to become sexual. And it first starts by either making facetious jokes, making little statements, innuendos, and then it goes into the questions of what turns you on? What do you like sexually? You need to tell me this because I need to know, because I need to be able to pray for you. So it's almost like a psychological power game that they're playing with you. And in your head, if you say something wrong, they project it on you. They body shame you. Oh, you're too sexual. Oh, look at your body. Oh, you're the one that's making me do this. Oh, you. And so you have that in the back of your head. And then you also have in their head of their dumb, misinformed followers who are pushing this predatory narrative because they're so in awe with either trying to be like them, either worshiping them, or not worshiping God, or worshiping their denomination or where they come from. And so they're not even there seeing with the eyes of truth, but they're there seeing out of carnality. And so they're sitting up there and they're protecting them. And the leader, the bishop, the pastor, they know this. And so they know and they feel invisible. Oh, I can get away with this. I just have to make a statement to my church. I just have to tell them. And they're never going to question.
Does that sound familiar? I just need to make a statement to my church and they're never going to question me. I just need to make a statement to my church.
Why is it so many people? Why is it always coming up? Why is everybody lying? So everybody's lying. Where there's a mouse, there's mice. And then it goes into the third stage. And the third stage is where they try to become intimate with you. And if you do not allow this, they drop you. They treat you like you're nothing. And they abandon that young male or that young woman. But from my experience, I can only speak from a young male point of view. They abandon that young male and they treat them like they're nothing because they didn't acquiesce to what they wanted sexually. And they look for another victim. And they know they can get away with it because their followers are not people that love the Lord. They worship the pastor. They worship the bishop. So they're not seeking for truth. And so this is the day.
People who don't love the Lord, but they worship the pastor, they follow the pastor. Okay.
An age that we're in. And I still believe that there are believers that do not worship personalities, so to speak. They don't care who you are. I don't care if you're bishop this, prophet this, apostle that, but they really love the Lord. And so they really are worshiping the spirit of truth, which is Jesus. And they really are about that. And so they can see past that. I want to say to victims that might not have a platform.
So this is the part, this is where my thumbnail, the people who were worried about my thumbnail and all that, this is what I was meaning in my thumbnail where I said he's urging victims to come forward. So listen to what he's saying.
Or might feel like you're going to be judged. You can't say nothing because this is what they try to tell you. You're going to be judged. You can't say nothing. You're sowing seed of tear. You know, God is the judge. Yeah, we know God is the judge, but God judges people also through legal systems. God judges people also through other people. There's a group of Christians and we're here and we believe in you and we're here to support you. And if you've been feeling in your heart that you can't say nothing, now's the time for you to speak out. There's still a remnant group of Christians that are not worshiping celebrities. They're not worshiping how big someone's conference is, who they are, or their name, or their notoriety.
Not worshiping celebrities, not worshiping how big someone's conference is. I ain't saying, listen, I'm just giving my commentary.
But they believe in truth and they're here for you. And I'm not a victim, but I'm someone that is speaking truth to help victims that have experienced this to say, we see you. And there's a group of Christians men and women of God that are the true men and women of God that are here to pray for you. Some of the biggest monsters are right in front of your face, and they manipulate their pulpit to push their nasty agenda, and their followers are duplicitous to it.
So that is the statement. And so what I said in my thumbnail was, he's urging victims to come forward. He didn't say who's victims. He didn't say what church. And yes, there is a connection to TD Jakes. Is that not what we've been talking about? Oh, Lord, let me close this out. Is that what we've been talking about? We've been talking about TD Jakes, right? So with that being said, naming names equal killing your offering, wink, wink, right? So again, shout out to the 554 people that are in the chat. If you are new here, please subscribe. Please subscribe. And for everybody else, if you don't mind hitting that like button, it's free 99. It is free 99. T. Trisha, hey, my love. T. Trisha, let me tell you something. T. Trisha stay in her membership, but she stays in the bushes, but she always is here, and I always appreciate her having my back. T. Tisha said they even tried to turn him against his father. See, I don't know all the stories, but I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there is a connection. What's up, King Retro? That there is a connection. Now, I got about 20 minutes. I'll drop the link. If you guys want to come up and just add your 2 cents, please be respectful. Please refrain from making factual statements. Please, allegedly, as far as that's concerned. I am confusion. If he is not a victim, then how does he know the ins and outs of how mega pastors groom? Was he a witness to the grooming? That's what it sounds like he's saying. He said, I'm not a victim, but I know how this works. And he broke it down. I mean, if you listen to what he said, he broke it down. He said, this is how it starts. This is stage 1. This is stage 2. This is stage 3. This is stage 4. And this is what they do. If you don't acquiesce, then this is what they do. So it sounds like if he's not a victim, he was on the front row of the situation. That's what it sounds like. Now, I don't know that to be a fact, but that's what it sounds like. Yeah. That is what it sounds like. So I'm going to drop the link. Again, you do not have to show your face, but before I lower my banner, I just need to verify that you are who you say you are. We have had a couple of incidents over here, so we need to make sure that people are who they say they are. His dad is a mega pastor. He's been around these people. That's what he said at the beginning. He said in his 20s, he said he was around a lot of these people. And he said he got a chance to see them with their armor down. Now, I am going to read you guys. I will read you guys this. Bishop Jordan did leave this comment under. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you, Rock Chick, for the Cash App. Merry Christmas to you as well, my love. Thank you guys so much. So I am going to read you guys this message. Bishop Jordan left this message under the video on Larry Reed, because Larry Reed did clip the video and post it to his Instagram. So Bishop Jordan left this message underneath the video, and it says, Archbishop Jordan, it's his Instagram. It says, I stand with my son for whatever support he needs in this hour, and I pray that his voice becomes clear as he stands in his own power and in the strength of his God. Now, that is what Bishop Jordan said underneath the clip of this video on Larry Reed's Instagram. So Bishop Jordan is saying, listen, I stand with my son. I support him however he needs me to support him. Yeah. So with that being said, like I said, I'm going to drop the link. I got about 20 minutes. Because I told you guys I got to pack so I can get ready to get out of here in the morning. And I don't want to be up too late because I want to hit the road early. But again, that is the link if you guys want to come up. It is 8:46. So I'll stay up here till about 9:10 if anybody comes up. But yeah, did Christian make a new video? I don't know who's Christian. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? How you doing, my love? Hey, Bougie Barbie. I got excited when I got in here. It's okay, boo. It's okay. There's a definite connection, and even gave TD $100,000 car. He denies he's a victim, but my Freudian self tells me he is. Ooh, come on up, Gabor's fave. Even though I'm Gabor's fave.
Hey, again.
Hey, what's up?
I have questions.
Okay, I don't know if I have the answers, but
I
share.
I don't I'm still processing this, so you're getting like my real time like thought. I don't like this. You're
Okay.
telling other victims to come forward, but we technically don't know if you're a victim or not. Like what is this? I don't know what to do with this because he didn't really say anything. Like I would need to know you've seen this firsthand and you're ready to whistle blow. Like what are you saying? Do
Mm.
you know what I mean?
I know. Listen, I know exactly. Listen, it goes back to the conversation we had earlier today, where we both said the same thing. Like, listen, if you say it and say it plain, you know, I'm with you on that. I feel like he's telling other victims, hey, come forward and tell your story. But my question is, do you know that? Do you know for a fact that they're victims, or are you just throwing a shot in the dark and hoping something happens? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, if this man is a victim and he's parsing his words, come forward when you really know what you want to say or really feel you can. To me, this sounds like a call for other people to stick their neck on the line when we don't technically know who you are and like it would be, I don't know. I don't know how to receive this because he didn't really say much in my
I
viewpoint.
want right. He threw a lot of innuendos. He threw a lot of breadcrumbs. I like to say he threw a lot of breadcrumbs, but no, he does not come right out and say point blank dot 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 dot. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a Christian Keys. Yeah, you know what? I guess he is. I guess that was very Christian Keys of him. Is that going to be a thing now, Christian Keys?
If
Hey, hey,
not as a
Star.
verb.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Star.
Happy
Welcome to the
holidays.
platform, my love. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. What you want to say?
Hey, so ma'ams, don't be mad at me. Love you. But I don't think it's fair to say that because we don't know if he's a victim that he should not be speaking up. I think we hear these types of stories come up often, and we are mad at people who don't help and don't support victims. And then now we're saying, well, if he's not really a victim, he shouldn't really be saying anything. I don't know. That part of it, I think that based on his father being a pastor, he could have very well, seen some of this behavior or some of this type of grooming. And I also don't think that there's grooming specific to pastors. I think grooming is grooming, especially when the end result is some type of sexual, um, I don't want to say behavior or some type of sexual thing that's leading up, from the grooming. So I don't know. I think that he should be allowed to come out and tell victims, hey, come forward, because maybe it is something that he's seen, but he cannot tell the story because it's not his story to tell. No different than the other gentleman who we just spoke about. I forgot his name, but just like him, Claudia didn't really want to tell it because, like she said, it's not her story to tell. So I don't know. I think sometimes we can just, like, depending on who the person is, we go all in. And now that it's like a mega pastor such as PD Jakes, we're kind of like scaling back. I also think one thing that we see happen often, PD Jakes is getting older. It's gonna be a lot of stuff that comes out. I feel like as people get older, it be just a lot of stuff coming out. So who knows? That's all I really wanted to say. So sorry, still love you, ma'am.
No, no, no. I encourage people to have a difference of opinion. The only thing, I mean, I agree with you. Victims should be able to come out. My issue is you are doing a call of arms, but you have not technically said anything. And if you were not the victim, but you know how they do it play by play, then I'm calling you to come out and address that head on. You don't have to say who the victim is, but you can definitely say who the predator is. See, Keys, I do think, has started something where he throwing out breadcrumbs is something that you do for the media. So although I applaud Christian for coming out, being on every blog and all these things, like it's, I already have multiple people who have come out and told me who he's talking about. Firsthand accounts from him. It gets to be, in my opinion, somewhat dangerous if you are just flippantly coming out. People know who he's associated with, and you're just saying, I want other victims to come forward. Well, if you're not a victim and you're not actually willing to call out the predator, what have you just done except incite more dialogue? And
Which
now
again
we're
takes us back to what Christian Keys did with this whole, with his innuendo, and so you're right. I mean, when you put it like that, I agree, because if he's not talking about TD Jakes, once again, is that fair to TD Jakes? Because you know that the connection that people are going to make is, oh, well, he was his mentor and we know that he worked with him for years and da 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 da. So boom, with everything else that's going on, must be talking about, and that's why I said, he's
But in
urged.
all fairness, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but in all fairness, there are several mega pastors, right? Because this is what I guess I had an issue with, just like with the Christian Keys thing. He never said that it wasn't Tyler Perry, right? And I feel like there's a lot of grace being extended in that situation. But because this one is Pastor TD Jakes, everyone is kind of scaling back still. Because kind of like to what you just said, it's, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of like grace being extended in this particular situation versus the other one. Because if we're going off of that, then Claudia should just come out and say who it is.
Well, I said that about everybody. I said it about Christian Keys. I said it about Claudia. I said it about everybody that's throwing out these breadcrumbs. I'm reporting it because it's the biggest story out there, and I'm giving you guys the information as I get it. But I've said that from the beginning. I think that if you're not ready to speak on your experience, then don't speak on it. And for the people who are saying, hey, that didn't happen to me, but I know it happened to some people, and I'm telling them they need to come forward, it just starts a whole thing. And I agree with I on one hand, I let me just say this. On one hand, I understand what he's doing. Or at least I feel like I understand what he's doing. Let me say that, because I don't know his intent. I don't know this man. But on the other hand, it is disingenuous, It is disingenuous. Okay, D Johnson, I'm gonna bring you up in a second. Give me a second. So we have somebody else. I'm gonna bring them up now so they can add to the conversation. Hey, D Johnson, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, really happy holidays. Let me turn my TV off.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, can you turn the... Oh, shoot. Oop, sorry. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Okay, you should be back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I agree completely with Star.
Oh, you muted yourself.
Come through, support for Star. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with Star. I gotta agree with her. I only agree with her because I always tell people, as a society, we kind of do things, we're thinking in reverse. Just like Star said, we need to actually be normalizing having these conversations, because we know for a fact that these pastors and leaders are abusing children, young people, on a normal scale. We see this with the Catholic Church. And some reason we disassociate the Catholic Church with the Christian, Baptist, and all those type of black churches, and they're doing the same things. And I think he should name the person who it is. I do agree with that as well, but I think it also needs to be talked about. Like he probably was associated with, Eddie Long was hanging out with that group at that time too. So if he saw
Yeah,
Eddie Long, he
yeah.
definitely
Eddie
saw what
Long
was going on.
he considered TD Jakes his mentor.
Yep. So I would not be shocked that he would probably know many, many of these bishops and pastors. I think he's more so afraid of the retaliation of the church, because a lot of things that we don't talk about is that the Black church all over the country are associated under one umbrella. In that one umbrella, if you get kicked out, the financing, the assistance, all of that goes away. So I think he's probably just holding back from saying the person's name publicly just to protect himself in the long run.
Can I offer up a slight difference of opinion? So we now have an age where one of us, i.e., me, Really Be, or any YouTuber, can just say, I received an email about Really Be, and it said such and such that relates to her actual profession. And now Really Be's friends, family, coworkers, bosses have all heard an unsubstantiated rumor about Really Be. And in the court of public opinion, Really Be did it. It's not okay. So I'm choosing, until there is something extremely definitive, something I can put my hands on, a firsthand account, to practice, what would the term be? Not discretion, or maybe discretion in how I report this, because it's not like Cassie naming Diddy. We are now going off of a unsubstantiated email that a blogger said they received, and we have all but condemned this man. For me, it has nothing to do with the fact that he is a pastor per se, and everything to do with the fact that I know that this person's livelihood depends on their reputation. Now, I've said multiple times, if whomever he allegedly did that with, that child, comes forward, I'm all in. But until then, it is very dangerous, because we're going all based off an email that some person got. And although I do think the person who initially put it out comes with their receipts and they have their sources, it's dangerous.
Can I add to it to ask a question though? Isn't it also dangerous not talking about it? For example, we know factually, looking at legal documents and police records about his son-in-law. That's never discussed.
Who are we
He
talking
never
about?
discusses it. T.D. Jake's son-in-law.
Well, that's different. We're not talking
But
about that, though. We're talking specifically about the rumor that has gone on now, that he is a power bottom and was taking it at a Diddy party, and that he took advantage and did hush money to a somebody's parents, and now the person's coming forward.
But
but
doesn't
can
that
we
Specifically.
speak
stop
to the
disassociating?
family?
Can't those two things happen at the same time though? Like thinking about it, like T.D. Jakes, for example. Let's say
Mhm.
he isn't a power bottom. Let's say he's not that. But let's say we do know for a factual that he allowed a young man to be with his daughter, who also abused technically his grandchild, and he has said nothing about it. I find that very odd of any man, in general. And for him to just kind of almost not really talk about that at all, and not even
Mhm.
talk about the relationship that the granddaughter, of how that granddaughter even came to be in that family, is weird to me. I, I can't ignore those things and then hear the comments about TD Jakes, see him at Diddy parties for some weird reason, and then say it's not likely. It's very unlikely. But once again, it's normal, and we hear it all the time that these things are happening. So once again, we are disassociating the concept of giving him the benefit of the doubt when systemically and historically it's actually inaccurate. We should actually be looking at it as it's more likely that it did happen than it didn't.
Mm.
That's dangerous rhetoric.
How so?
Yeah,
You,
especially when it shows like a pattern. It's kind of like a pattern is starting in a sense.
It's
Is
like
that fair
saying
to
that
say?
teachers don't get paid enough and saying, well, I don't understand why these teachers are so bad and they're not doing well. It's because they're not getting paid enough. Like, we have to start correlating basic information together
Whoa,
and then
wait,
be honest about it.
stop.
You don't think you don't get paid enough? I think you don't get paid enough.
But you just said, but what you said was, well, why are teachers doing bad? I don't understand what you meant by that.
I'm not saying bad, but why are teachers being mistreated? And then we see teachers and students going through certain issues.
Okay, so
But teachers aren't
anything
being
that
mistreated because we don't get paid enough. Teachers are being mistreated. That's a whole nother conversation, but it don't have nothing to do with us not getting paid, because teachers have never got paid well. But we used to be one of the most respected professions. Teachers are not being treated well because people don't respect education anymore.
You triggered her.
No, I'm just no. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But Pam, I just want to say this, Pam. And Pam did follow this story on her channel, Pam the Law Intellect. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure you get subscribed. Pam said he did release a statement about his son-in-law, so that's not true. So TD Jakes did release a statement on his son-in-law.
So all I'm saying is, I personally have chosen to report it, and I typically give both sides, especially with this, because it's uncorroborated. I'm not saying that whatever happened with his son-in-law isn't weird. I'm not saying that that doesn't cast a shadow. I'm just saying for this particular thing, I personally think it's dangerous because we don't technically know, and everything is coming from just an email. Like, even the information that I had to verify my source and verify exactly who that source was in that circle before I was comfortable actually coming out and saying, this is what I know from my source. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
yeah,
if you just put in Diddy, so you know a Really B, you know a Mims, you know, you can put a face to a name, to a Tisa Tales, a Tough News, a MVMO. You can put a face to all this. There are so many people who have said the craziest stuff about Diddy via a artificial intelligence where you'll never see a person, you'll never hear a person, and they can spew out whatever they want. I have had people in my inbox sending me stuff about, the different various people that Diddy has allegedly sacrificed. And I'm like, and I'm not talking about the 35 people. I'm talking about, like, did he sacrifice Michael Jackson? Did you see this?
yeah.
There's
I
other.
no, we get that. We get that stuff all the time. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that this may not be true. I would never say that. I don't know technically. All I know is there was an email put out. There's no name. There's no person. I just know a YouTuber has said this, and now he's responding to it on the pulpit. So, I don't think anybody should get a pass. Preacher, deacon, priest, if there's something, but we don't have a name, we don't have anything other than an email.
Right. So wait a minute. I want to, Danny Girl and Sam, thank you for coming to the platform. Hey, Brother Dev, and welcome, Pam. I saw you drop down, girl. I saw you drop down. And happy holidays to everybody. Please, if you have not already hit the like button, do that. And if you are not subscribed, do that as well. Woo, we got some people in the chat. Y'all got some things to say. Danny Girl, thank you for your patience. Go ahead and say what you had to say. And then Sam, I will let you speak. Danny Girl?
You might be muted.
Yeah, Danny Girl, you're muted.
Good evening, everyone, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I was just calling because you there? Can you hear me?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What I was gonna say was that, okay, Mims, her several lives that Larry Reed has done over the past, if you just kind of go in and out, you kind of know Manasseh's and Prophet Archbishop Jordan's kind of story when it comes to TD Jakes. TD Jakes tried to groom him. This is in Larry Reed's words and Manasseh's. They never really come out and say his name. Well, Larry did, but Manasseh never did. About him trying to groom him.
The man? Who we just
but
saw?
he doesn't consider himself a victim because it never went any further through it. But he was a witness to, allegedly, he was witness to other people being grooming from the other pastors, not just Jake's from understanding, but a couple more others like Eddie Long. So with that being said, they know things behind the scenes and they're telling them, hey, if you are a victim, go ahead and come forward and tell your truth. But it's been out there for, like, if you go back to a lot of Larry Reid's lives, if you listen to his recent lives, he pretty much puts it out there that, you know, he got it set inappropriate pictures. They tried him and he just didn't go for it. That's why he's no longer his mentee.
This okay? I don't know. You have to give me names. So the person that just did the video is Manasseh.
Yes.
Okay. So he did name it to somebody. He's just not telling the public, and that's how Larry Reid found out.
Yes, Manasseh
I
Jordan
don't.
is the one that's in the video that really. Well, Larry Reid and Manasseh and Archbishop Jordan, they're all close. Actually, Larry Reid calls Archbishop his father in the ministry. So if you go back to Larry Reid's live, I know for what he did last week, because I think he did 2 of them last week. He pretty much lays it out there. And Larry typically does not speak on something that's not already, quote unquote, publicly known. That's what he stands on. But, you know, hey, you know, Larry also has an alter ego called Jeremy. He'll talk to Jeremy too. So he kind of, you know, but on this, it's been very consistent. And then with the mine, was it MVMO? She also was, you know, privy to some of the people being grooming or had an incident done to some of the people she knows as well. So, and here in Dallas, it's not a hidden secret. Um, we've all heard many rumors, many allegations. You'll hear it one week and then the next week it's dropped, not only with just Jake's, but with his family, son, his daughters. So, you know, they'll pay somebody to be quiet, or you'll hear something and then you won't hear it out after a while. So either they got paid off or whatever the case may be, but that's typically what happens.
So, a couple of people in the chat are saying that Larry never said Manasseh's name. So I want to be clear that I don't watch every Larry Reid video, so I don't know whether he ever has or has not. But I do want to make that clear that a couple of people in the chat have said that Larry has never said Manasseh's name.
Not in the. Let me clear it up a little bit. Not in the last one. Let me clear it up. Not in the last one. Not in the last 2. He just insinuates in the last 2. But if you go back to previous, like, go to I'll go look for it and I'll inbox you. But they've said it before.
Okay, no, I just want to be clear.
This is not the first time Larry Reid has spoke on the Jakes family. He really doesn't speak on them a lot often because he says he knows too much. But I'll go back and look at it.
Okay. No, and again, I just want to be clear, because going back to the point that Mims is making, this is not an indictment, and I'm not saying anybody did anything. So I just want to be fair and clear that, you know, I don't want to put words in people's mouth. I don't want to say that somebody said something they didn't say, because I didn't hear it. So I just want to say that. Sam, thank you for your patience. What do you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to say this. I understand the people's willingness to kind of want to press the pause button on reporting TD Jakes, these allegations and rumors, because at the end of the day, they're just allegations and rumors. And we really have to be careful about condemning someone without any definitive proof. But I've been on this planet for a long time, for many, many decades. And what I have found when it comes to rumors and allegations is, unfortunately, most of the time, 95% of the time, people don't go to jail for molesting children because a lot of times people don't prosecute. People don't hold people account, or people will take the payoff because they don't want to put their child in a position of having to, testify or be on the witness stand or whatever, and really kind of potentially further traumatizing that child or that teenager or whatever. So they will be quiet. And in the midst of the silence, unfortunately, this person continues to abuse for decades. I mean, we all remember the Catholic priest scandal that erupted in the 90s. And I'm probably pretty much older than everybody here, but there was a famous singer who once passed. Her name was a white singer called Sinead O'Connor. And she had this, she went on Saturday Night Live.
I remember.
And she went off about the Pope, and it was about sexual abuse that was happening in the Catholic Church. And she was crucified. I mean, her career pretty much ended. But she was right. She was right. But you know what?
But she also named names, right?
Yeah, well, that's the reality of it, because when you name, what people have to, this is the deal. Everybody, when you name names, you can be sued. Let me give you an example. You all know who Lance Armstrong is, the guy who was the famous motorcyclist, right?
No, just cyclist.
Cyclist. Sorry. I'm sorry. Right. Cyclist. Okay. Do you know how many people named names and told everybody screaming he was doping? And you know what he did, everybody? He sued everybody. He sued everybody he even sued companies, and people went into bankruptcy because they were telling the truth. See, listen, it's hard to go after people who have a lot of money and power. Everybody thinks it's so easy. Like, oh, just go to the police. Well, sometimes even when you go to the police, you don't even know if this powerful person has the police on payroll. Everybody acts like if it was so easy, then you would have other people come forward and do the right thing. But it's not that easy. Again, I understand that we have to be very responsible about reporting rumors and allegations. But I think when you do, you should always say, hey, everybody, this is a rumor and allegation. But to ignore it and to not report it is one of the reasons why you have people continuously abusing people, because silence is violence. If I'm a predator and all I got to do is pay people off, then I'm going to continue to be a predator. I mean, if Ted Bundy, the famous serial killer, if nobody did anything, he would still be out here killing people. So at the end of the day, I understand that people want to be responsible and all of that, and I get all of that, but I also feel like you have to balance that with, I would rather, if I am living on a block with a sexual predator, right, who hasn't been caught, but everybody on the block knows that this person has a tendency to touch little boys or touch little girls, I want you as a neighbor to say, hey, you know what? Just don't take your child over there. Do me that favor.
But you're still naming that person. That's the difference.
Exactly. And that's a choice. You are naming the person. But at the end of the day, you at least want to, I would say, do the responsible thing and put the information out there and let people make that decision. Now, me personally, I do like to base my interactions with people on how they treat me. I mean, thank you for the information, but I will also make that decision. But at least tell me, at least say something. But I do respect the fact that people want to be very conscientious about not condemning him. So that's all I got to say.
Can I say something really quick? Yep. I agree with what you're saying, and I definitely think that victims should come forward. But I'm speaking specifically on what I just heard. I don't really follow Larry. I think I might be subscribed to him, but I haven't seen one of his lives or videos in a while, so I don't know the ins and outs. So you guys are telling me something new. But just in this particular situation, just based on what really played, I personally would not know what to do with this video. As somebody who does not know that maybe they shared something with Larry Reed, and Larry Reed has the inside track. Even what Larry is doing, according to one of you, you said Larry came out and said, "This is what happened. This is what I know, and I'm extremely close to these people." Then that is somebody giving credence to what was said. In this instance, I just don't know what to make of it, because he's issuing a call to arms, but he's not really saying, I know this personally because somebody tried me and this is the person. Or I'm gonna speak my truth very soon, like Christian Keys did. I just did not know where to put what he said.
Right. And I think that something is like you have to balance it in terms of, you know, what information you're going to give to your audience and what information you're going to hold on to. I respect people who are like, you know what, I'm not going to report on anything until someone is convicted. But I will tell you this, if that's the case, a lot of you YouTubers and gossip bloggers would not hardly be reporting on anything if you wait for somebody to go to jail. That's just the nature of gossip.
I think you can
That's a
report
decision
on
that you have to
something.
make.
I think you can report on something, but you just have to be cognitive of what you're saying, how you're saying it, and not speaking it as fact, right?
And that's subjective. That's subjective.
So you
Welcome to
think
the
that you
platform,
can speak
Tracy.
on?
Wait a minute. Welcome to the platform, Tracy and Queen Tulsa. Thank you guys for your patience. Tracy Johnson, go ahead and speak, and then Queen Tulsa, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I just, this is to me really disturbing. And I say this is disturbing as far as a Christian. And I think the thing that's really, really upsetting is that it's bad enough that the world is watching. And we're tearing this man down. But the saints are even more so tearing him down as well. And here's the thing. He does, no one gets a pass. I have a problem with people that are sexual predators of all kinds. There's been alleged talks of an incident that happened within the church with an underage minor and things of that nature. And I have a problem with that. We know it's been happening in the Catholic churches and all other churches, and no one should be doing that. God is not pleased, but God is the final judge. And my thing is that I'm praying for, all parties affected. And like I said, that's because it's the Christian in me, and I just don't want to see the Christianity take a loss with everything that's happening, and that's why we have to be careful and understand what the word says, because the Bible is right, and evil communication does corrupt good manner. When I think about certain celebrities, like one of my favorite artist, Yolanda Adams, she did a lot of songs in the 90s with a lot of, and she talked to a lot of rappers like Little Kim and certain artists that she did music with, but she wasn't going to parties and doing things like that. So you really have to be careful. And like I said, I really am praying and hoping that if this is something that is, true, that, the authorities and everything will work itself out. And if it's alleged and it's not true, I'm hoping that, Bishop Jakes can, bounce back from this. But then at that point, he really, takes a good hard look at what's happened and, recollects and makes a change, because people are looking at him, saved as well as unsaved. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, this is just not a good look for the church, especially because we are in the last days and Jesus is coming back. So that's really basically all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Queen Tulsa.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for letting me up on your platform. And hello, panelists. And please hit that like button. I'm here as a survivor. I was taken advantage of. This guy, I had met him on the phone line. I was young, and he took me to that church, and we did what we did at that church. So when somebody says, how do you say that? Well, You got to build up the courage.
Mhm.
You
Are you
have
saying a
to,
pastor took advantage of you at the church? Like,
I don't know if he was a pastor, but I can tell you the church, I can tell you the vehicle, and I can tell you what he looks like. He had keys to get up in that church.
Oh wow. Okay.
so somebody
Mm.
connected to the church,
I'm sorry for your
possibly the
experience. I'm
pastor.
sorry about
Okay.
your experience. So yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Well, you know what? As bad as it sounds, I just thank God for that experience so I can tell people to be aware, have a relationship with your children, and don't trust everybody. I don't care what position they're in. And I feel like we put people on this pedestal, and when our level of trust with the people that we put on a pedestal, it just disappears. You know, the common sense, all that, it seems like it disappears. And um I just want to say to even to Christian Keys, it was triggering because why would you come out and say something and not give a name or anything like that? It's like you triggered victims out here that want to say something, but you had the ball and you dropped it. And it was more of like it was a publicity stunt, but I guess he got what he wanted because now the guy that he stole the show from is going to sue him and Tyler, allegedly. So I'm
Well,
fine.
well, that's not. Well, I talked about that before. That's really a non-issue. That guy has. That's the be the third time he's filed that lawsuit, and it keeps getting thrown out. So I don't think that has an. I don't think there's a connection there. But again, I'm not on the inner circle, but I don't think there's a connection between that lawsuit and what Christian Keys is doing. I don't
So
think so.
back to TD Jakes. Swallowed, swallowed. All those clips are surfacing. Um, I just feel like
Not a clip of him swallowing. I think she's saying he was just saying
no,
the word swallow.
just
Just to
saying
clarify,
swallow.
Tulsa.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Sorry.
I was like,
Thank you for
what?
clearing that, Mims. Clarifying that.
Wait a
But
minute.
this is the thing. My pastor, I don't want to see him at the club. I don't want to see him having a good I want to just see him on Sunday when I have to repent. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to party with my pastor. Um, and the particular person that he's partying with, us as individuals, us that we have platforms, we have to be mindful of what we're doing because we are a brand. Am I correct? Who
Yeah.
you're with, it will circulate back around, right? And I just think that him dismissing the conversation and saying, "Run me my money," was a slap in the face because he says, "I'm not going to talk about it, but now it's time for offerings. Can we get that tithes and offerings going? Run me that money because I'm still gonna get paid. So I ain't talking about that mess, but I need y'all to run me that money. Hit that cash app. Hit that however you gonna pay it today. Run me that money because if I did do it, I could just repent, but I need that money." That's
um
what I got from that clip. Run me my money. Church is still gonna go on. My masters, the higher ups, this is all allegedly from the spirit. I don't know what's going on. They told me that I'm good. And I need y'all church women to get out there and get in the field and get on that YouTube and tell them people to cut it off.
do you mind if I chime in really, really quickly?
Go
I've been
ahead.
thinking. I've been thinking. Although I don't quite understand this young man's whole viewpoint, I'm sure he probably said more and we only saw clips, so I'll probably try to get the full video of what he said. what I what I do like about what he said is maybe there is somebody who is currently dealing with a priest or a pastor, and these things that he expressed, the type of grooming, maybe they're not aware that they're being groomed. So I do like that he did potentially tell somebody experiencing it hey, this could be what you're going through and it's not right. So I've been, I've been thinking, I've been listening to what everybody's being said, what everybody has said. And that part I can extrapolate and say, I like that because not everybody is aware that they are being groomed. So it is important to have these conversations just for that particular person without knowing like a context, like a call to arms. I would have thought that he would have been more forthcoming. But I do like that potentially he is teaching some people. Maybe a young person hears that and says, well, I'm experiencing that. And maybe they will then report that priest or preacher or whatever.
Or
Hey,
even
Really
an
B,
adult.
Go ahead. Who? I'm
Really
sorry.
B, can I ask a question? I just wanted to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
Taking away the allegations from with this TD Jakes thing and even with the Diddy stuff, who do you feel is more powerful in a more powerful position, TD or Diddy?
It depends on the audience.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think TD Jakes, but it also depends on the perspective. But I would think
Definitely
TD
a
Jakes.
religious person.
Yeah, I would
Listen,
think.
Definitely.
them church women are gonna come out swinging.
Yeah,
I'm
I would say
telling you.
TD Jakes definitely. Let me say this, and I want to say this. I'm gonna first of all, thank you to everybody that's here. This is the most people I've had in my chat, so thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button if you have not done so already, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I want to thank Mims for being up here, make it make sense. You guys check out his channel. I want to thank you for being up here the whole time with me, my friend. I want to thank Pam the Law Intellect for being in the chat as well. She has been giving you guys some legal perspective. If you haven't paid attention to her comments, I want to thank you guys for all of you all's input, and please make sure you are subscribed to them as well. I know they have perspectives. I want to say this. I think that's a good question, Star, and I think that is a big part of the question. Is when you're talking about church leaders, they do have a different influence. They do have a different perspective, and I think when we're talking about who is more powerful, that's my opinion. I want to say
Can I?
this. I want to say this for the purposes of this whole conversation, which has been a great conversation. I think that I think it's fair to say because I was sitting here thinking and I asked myself a question. I think honestly, if I think that Manasseh saying his piece, I don't think it's ridiculous for people to connect the dot and say, well, wait a minute, who are these people he's been around? He specifically says in his video that he's been around some very powerful leaders in the church, and that they and some of the things he said. So I don't think that the names of a TD Jakes would be out of the realm of a conversation to say, oh, well, we know that TD Jakes was his mentor. He won an award in 2016 for being, he was TD Jakes' top mentor, mentee, whatever. I don't think it would be ridiculous for people to make the connection. That doesn't mean that he's guilty, you guys. That doesn't mean that I'm saying that TD Jakes is guilty. I'm saying that this is somebody who was once under the umbrella of TD Jakes in the Potter's house. Is saying, hey, grooming is taking place in the church. Here is what it looks like. And people who have been victimized, we need you to come forward. That's where I am on it. And I understand everybody else's perspective on it. And I definitely understand where you're coming from, Mims, as well. But that is my perspective. That's where I'm coming from with the whole conversation. I'm going to let people I'm going to go around the room. Mims, hold on if you can, please. I'm going to go around and let everybody give a final word. I'll start with you, Queen Tulsa, because I see you had something to say, and then I'll come around.
I was gonna say thank you. I was gonna say, isn't the pulpit sacred? Like that pulpit where that pastor he preaches, that is sacred area, and not everybody can come in that area. So, like when Tyler Perry had walked up on stage and laid hands on him and gave him that $1 million, did y'all address that already?
I'm not, because I'm not. I didn't address it because I
Okay.
don't. What am I addressing?
Well, just the sacredness of the pulpit.
Maybe it's
Did
not
y'all?
because I grew up Catholic. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
okay. Well,
I,
from
I
my
don't see that as an issue, so I wouldn't have addressed it because I didn't. It doesn't. I don't
well,
know.
yeah, I would see it as an issue because it's a sacred, that pulpit is a sacred area. And not everybody can just go up. But I would just say, let's just pray for everybody involved. Um, let's pray that uh the young lady gets her son back, and let's um you
What
know
what lady? What son?
She's talking about
Michelle
the
Lau.
lady, TD Jakes' daughter.
Oh,
Michelle Lau.
Yeah.
Michelle Lau. Pray that she gets her son back, and more people come out, and you guys find that strength and that bravery. If you can't talk to your family or friends, call a resource and get the help that you need. I would say use therapy and counseling. Those resources are out there, you all. Make an escape plan, or don't nobody know, just you. Make an escape plan, exit your way out. I love you. Be safe with it. Thanks for having me on the panel. Shout out to Mims. Congratulations on your 100K
Yes.
subscribers
thank you.
and growing. I don't know what's that guy's name? Make it make sense, or whatever. How you doing? I
All
better
right.
be in a commercial.
Oh, is that
Oh,
Thank
what that
you.
was for?
Sam, any final words?
Yes. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come up on your platform and
Thank you for
share
coming.
with you just my opinion about the situation. And to kind of piggyback off of what the most recent caller said, I just ask that if anybody's going through anything, whether it's with somebody at the church or somebody in your family or whatever, that God give you the strength to come forward. And I think that what you YouTubers do not realize is that you are in a position of service. So anytime you put information out there about abuse, about getting help, and kind of warning people of the potential dangers of abuse, you are in a lot of levels saving people because somebody is listening to your podcast or your YouTube channel, and they're going to have the strength to either report somebody or leave a relationship or maybe not trust somebody with their child because of some of the information that you put out there. So you really are doing a service, and I think on behalf of everybody, we thank you. And even though you may not have concrete evidence all the time, it's okay to say, this is, I got some information and this is what it is. It's not completely, uh, collaborated or whatever that word is. But I'm putting this out here for you to warn yourself or to warn you about it. So, but yeah, that's what I want to say. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak on your platform.
Thanks for coming up. I appreciate that.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
D Johnson, final words.
Just want to tell everyone to have an amazing holiday and just kind of end everything on just saying that I hope in the new year 2024 that people who are religious are a little bit more skeptical of their leaders. It's good to follow great people and idolize them, but don't look at every word that comes out of their mouth as truth. I will always be reminded 2 years ago of having conversations with my family about John Gray and his infidelity. And that was a big discussion just 2 years ago. And I remember many people being on the fence on both sides. And eventually it came out that he was having affairs on his wife and giving out gifts to other women. So I want people to understand that these people are still religious, but they're also still human. So I hope everyone has an amazing year, and I just hope we all are blessed with amazing things in the new year.
D. Johnson, do you
Thank you
think
so
that
much.
that John Gray could have been Mr. Chocolate that Phaedra was dating?
I think so. I
You know
definitely
what?
know. I
I
mean,
am.
he was buying gifts for everybody.
We
That's
done
what it
went
looked
way
like.
left now. See now, Mims, there you go. There you go, putting out stuff. See, doing the exact thing you've been talking about this whole time. Anyway, Star, final words, my love.
Yes, first, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come up, Really Be. I love your lives. It's not often that I get a chance to catch them, so or come up on a panel. I just want to say I hope that young people, looking for mentors or looking for, someone to look up to. It could be because they don't have a father or don't have a mother, or it's just looking for a way to get into whatever it is that they love or whatever path that they're trying to go down. I hope that they have more discernment and looking up to certain people because they may be in these high places of power. I also hope that, and this is nothing towards you, Mims, or you, Really Be, but I also hope that we just stop putting, these celebrities and all these people, like we idolize them so much that they can't do any wrong. I also hope that, victims just come out because I do understand that it takes, a lot to come out. But for the purposes of the people that's coming up underneath us or whatever, not underneath, but, the younger people, I feel as if we need to have a plan moving forward of how to come out. Just, come out. That's going to be the way to get these predators, off the streets, if you will. So that's my hope. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the rest of your holiday season. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, Mims, it's me and you.
No, I don't really have much to say. I love hearing other people's input. Like, I think that Star is right. We do idolize celebrity. Um, I wouldn't even just say in this country, in the world, celebrities are idolized. So we have to actually put our faith in ourselves more than what a celebrity will tell us to do. I mean, if you really think about it, that's where influencing came from. You have a nice car, a nice house. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna spend the money that you spend to make my house look like that. I mean, it is what it is, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. But I thank you for being up here with me and giving us the perspective. Like I said from the beginning, I am bringing y'all the information. I am still not saying, I stand by what I said until somebody gives me a lawsuit, until I see a police report, until someone comes forward and says, it was me, it is I, and this happened to me. I am not indicting anyone. I'm not saying anybody is guilty. I'm not saying anybody did anything. I'm not even saying that Manasseh is speaking about TD Jakes. I am saying that he is urging people who have been victims of grooming to come forward.
So is Bishop Jordan's son Manasseh?
Yes, Bishop Jordan, his son is Manasseh. Yes.
So somebody in the chat, Miss dot 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 says Bishop Jordan's son is gay. Do we know that?
I don't even know why that's not even relevant. I
No,
don't
I'm
know if
just
he's gay or not, but I
yeah,
have
I'm
no idea.
okay. Yeah, people are gonna believe what they want to believe. I just, I'm gonna deep dive, but just
I know
off
you are. I know you
what you,
are.
just off what you said and what everybody has said, this boy was under the tutelage of TD Jakes.
Yes. At one point in time, yes.
Was this a recent video?
This video was today.
Okay, so there is a current scandal about someone who mentored you. You come out, people are aware of who you are, and you say these things. It leads people in a direction, right? I mean,
It does.
that's not
No, it
even
does.
critical
No,
thinking. That's A
it
plus B.
absolutely does.
So we've reached a new turn in the Me Too movement where we are now giving out blind items on abuse.
Jonathan, do you want to come up? if you want to come up, let me know, and I'll drop the link for Jonathan only. He's a pastor, so he may have a different perspective, and so if you want to come up, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mims.
No,
But
it's fine.
Jonathan, if you want to come up, I will drop the link for Jonathan. Pam, if you want to come up, I will drop the link. If you want, I know you probably don't want to. It's Christmas and you with the family and all of that. But if you want to come up, I'll drop the link for you as well. If either one of you guys want to come and add perspective, because Pam can definitely add a legal perspective, and Jonathan can add. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link for you, Jonathan. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm gonna drop the link for Jonathan.
Well, I mean, so now we have Really's chat. Somebody has now said the man is gay in the chat, right?
Yeah, but
You
I'm
never
not
know
even.
who's. No, the point that I'm making is we don't know that, but now that's in the record book. That was the point that I was making. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily relative to anything, but now somebody might see that and say, okay, yeah, he's gay. Now they've added to it. Now the story has changed. I don't know if the man is gay or not. I was just using that as an
Nor do
example.
I. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's now part of the
But
record.
let's be fair. Okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second, and let's be fair.
Hmm.
That happens all the time in our chats. Like we could be talking about Tamar, right? And Tamar, somebody will drop in the chat and say, "Well, Tamar cussed out the cashier at the Walmart," and you'll be like, "That has nothing to do with what we're talking about." You understand what I'm saying? So
No,
I understand what you're saying, but people saying stuff in the chat. I mean that.
I was talking about the power of YouTubers and how something that somebody says snowballs. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, Jonathan.
Hey, what's up? Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Once I
Christmas.
heard your voice, I know it's you.
Listen,
All
y'all,
right. What did you want to share?
I don't know what's going on with Bishop T.D. Jakes and all of this stuff that's out there. Um, you know, it could be true, it could not be true. But my thing with it is that it just seems to me like this is a major attack on the church. um, Especially when you start talking about, people being victimized, when you start talking about leaders being mentors and you got mentees coming out. And my thing is this: some of these young preachers are really going into the ministry. And I understand that you might need a mentor, but your calling is not based on your mentor. A lot of people are going into the ministry because they see the money that TG Jakes is making. And my thing is, if you're truly called, you really know when you're being abused a lot of times. Sometimes you put yourself in that situation trying to gain, and then when stuff starts coming out, then you want to start exposing stuff as well, that you should have been exposing all along. And I'm not victim shaming anybody, but I'm just saying this has been done a lot in the church. That's the reason why, as a pastor, I don't individually meet with nobody. I ain't dealing with nobody's child. If anybody needs counseling, it's always a witness that I trust is going to be present, not unless it's done over the phone, but not in person. And that's just to cover myself, because you got people out here that are really, they're about game. They're really about game. Um, and I'm not saying that this is not, that this is not real. But what I am saying is that sometimes we have to take accountability, especially if you've been allowing stuff to go on. Now, it's different if you're underage, but as an adult, if you've been allowing stuff to go on and then all of a sudden now you want to come out with all of this, it's difficult. It's really difficult, and I know we can't tell anybody when to come out with stuff, but it's just, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time.
Okay.
Okay, so I I don't know if this is exactly what you were saying in it would be like Gene Deal beating up people for Diddy, doing whatever for Diddy, watching him beat women, not saying anything, and now 20 years later saying something. Is that what you're saying?
It is in a certain instance, I am saying something like that. You know, if you're especially now, I'm just going to talk on the spiritual side, especially these that are calling TD Jakes their mentor. And my thing with that is that you know, if you're called yourself, if you call yourself, there's a thing called discernment. You understand what I'm saying? So at any point in time when you see things going left, you should be able to step out and say, hey, this is not right, you know. But you got a lot of people that's playing the game, and then they'll wait till somebody that's truly been victimized come out, and then all of a sudden they start coming out with the same thing. I mean, it's just crazy to me.
Well, much as I love you, brother, I disagree, but I understand what you're saying. But I disagree. I think I think that's the same to me. To me, and I know you're coming from a place of you're in that position and you are subject to false allegations. You are subject to people trying to put you in that position. So I understand your perspective, but I'm always very cautious about telling a victim they shouldn't be a victim. And I feel like that's what you're saying. And so I'm always cautious
And
of that.
and I want you to know that's not no way. I guess it's coming across. That's what I'm saying because it's kind of personal. You know, I just think about things that I have seen and I have witnessed. You know,
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I
so,
know that that's your perspective.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my perspective on things. But I don't mean to come across as victim shaming. You know, but I have seen with my own eyes, especially some of these young preachers who are trying to get up on game. That basically they knew what was going on all along, and they played along with it until the situation came out, and they saw what they could, you know, they could take advantage of the situation themselves as well, and then they speak on it when they should have been speaking on it all along. That's all I'm saying. I've seen that with my own eyes. I'm not saying
Okay.
this is the same thing with Bishop Jakes or whatever. You know, I'm not saying that he shouldn't take accountability for anything because he should. You know, but you know, it's just I guess the whole thing with me is how folks it makes all of us as preachers look bad. You know, the trust is broken. Everybody once one preacher get in trouble, it's like the world takes it out on all preachers. And so I stand up for the church. So that's my thing there.
And
I
I
think
understand,
that the
listen,
other preachers,
as somebody who grew up in the Catholic Church, trust me, I get it. Because let me say this, and Mims, not to tell your business, but you said it earlier on your platform that you grew up Catholic as well. I grew up Catholic, and I know for a fact that certain things happened in my parish with some of the young boys. Um, got a little too close to one of the priests, and one day he was just gone. And as a kid, even as a kid, I felt like it was a little funny that this priest was spending like he totally ignored the girls, da 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 da. You know what I mean? And so when I say the Jenga piece was pulled out of the bottom of the pyramid and the whole thing collapsed, a lot of it was hurtful as somebody who grew up Catholic, but it was also very much like, well, I know a lot of this is true. I know a lot of these things happen because I saw it myself. So I understand when people are like, look, once one person gets accused, then it's almost like that trickle down, and then everybody's looking at you with a side eye like, you too? You too? I get that part of it. And I understand that's why I said I understood your perspective. I understood your perspective. You know what I mean? I definitely do.
well, I don't know. I'm
People even
sorry.
in the comments in the chat. You know, like a lot of stuff that people said in the chat. Listen, you don't even know me. You know.
Okay, don't read the chat. Let's start there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
don't read
never a good
that.
idea
Don't
to
read
read the
that.
chat.
Listen, that's an easy way.
I'm just
But
saying that's an example. That's an example. You know, you don't even know me, don't even know what I'm trying to get across. You just assume, take it how
don't
you
read the
want to
chat.
take it. But my thing is, as a preacher, I stand for what's godly and for what's right, and I do believe that if you are out here putting preachers on pedestals, if you out here, there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with getting a mentor, trying to be groomed or whatever, but just make sure that what you're trying to do with the grooming or get the mentor, that person is right with God. You got to use some discernment.
Can I, and this is with all due respect, I think the crux of the issue, whether you're Catholic, Baptist, whatever denomination, I think that it's also dangerous to be in a position and feel like victims coming forward kind of hurts all preachers' credibility. I think and I'll just use the Catholic priest, had the Catholic priest acknowledged the issue with each one of the predators, because of course it's not everybody, denounced them right away, then I think faith would have been restored in the in the world's viewpoint, because the Catholic, bishops, the Catholic powers that be would have exposed it, corrected it, and moved on. The problem is it becomes a good old boys club. We don't really want this out because we don't want our credibility hurt. And so oftentimes, I can't speak to Baptists, but in Catholic communities, they protected the priest. They might just take them out of one diocese and move them. But what you're just doing is moving the predator around to a fresh group of people who
creating
then,
more victims.
right, because if the predatory behavior isn't going to stop, especially if they don't get in trouble, it's just like, okay, I'm going to do it over here, but maybe I've learned how to do it a little bit more quietly. So I'm not saying you're doing that, sir, in any way. I'm just saying those things need to be called out expeditiously so that faith can be restored in religious leaders. And that's just Catholic. I don't know the ins and outs of how Baptist stuff works.
I would say that's with all denominations, really. I mean, if you know something, it should be put out there. Not just brush it under, because if you brush it under the rug, then you're gonna have a bigger problem. But my thing is, when this stuff is going on and you don't come out with it until after somebody else come out with it, and now everybody just coming out with the same thing, and I'm just like, what? Why did you come out before? I mean, what's the deal with that?
But again, Jonathan, we right back where we started. You can't tell a victim when to tell their story. Like there are a million reasons why.
And I'm not really talking about victim here, but even if you go with the story with Bishop Jordan's son, where has he been all these years?
And to be clear, he's not saying he's a victim. Just to clarify.
He's not saying he's a victim. Yeah.
But he's had knowledge of things that's happened.
That's what he said in his video. He said, and he said,
now
that's what he said in his video.
Coming out with it after somebody else comes out with it. So what is your point now when you could have been put this on blast a long time ago?
That's the tough part of the conversation, because he's not naming
El Teddy. Let me give a shout out to El Teddy, because he spoke on this in his video earlier. He actually went through grooming. He grew up in the church. I'm not going to say his denomination because y'all can go to his channel and find out. But on his video earlier today, he literally said the exact same thing that this man said in his video about the stages of grooming and what that looks like. Well, first they do this, and then they do that, and then they do that, and then this is what happens. That is exactly what he said. Miss Tracy, I'm not ignoring you, Tracy. I'm really shutting this down. I'm getting ready to shut it down. I let Jonathan come up because he's a member on the channel, and that's my big brother, and I know he had a different perspective because he is a pastor. But it's been almost 2 hours. But El Teddy, y'all go check out El Teddy's video.
Welcome to my world.
I know, right? Y'all go check El Teddy's video out that he did earlier this morning. It's called Run Your Mouth. Tracy's gonna drop the link, or El Teddy might be driving, he can't do it himself, but he literally did the same thing this morning. And again, it kind of goes back to what you guys are saying. Here is somebody that has nothing to do with TD Jakes. He has nothing to do with this whole situation, but he is saying the exact same thing that this Manasseh said earlier in his video about grooming and what it looks like in the church and the different levels to it. So yeah. I want to say this, you guys. I want to thank everybody who's been here, who's been rocking. This has been a great live. Again, it's the first time I've done this. So a little overwhelming, but I appreciate it. And I thank my friend for being here. He knew I needed him. I want to thank my friend for being here. I'm going to get ready. I got to get ready to go, you guys. If I could stay 3 hours, I would. I really can't. I have to go. But I will continue to bring you guys this story. The developments. Make sure that you are subscribed to make it make sense. Y'all know he's gonna be ready whenever something drops. Make sure y'all are giving Pam the law intellect. She was in here earlier. The minute there's a lawsuit, y'all know she's gonna come and break that down. And y'all go check out El Teddy 27's video from this morning. He said the exact same thing, and he did it this morning, and he has absolutely no connection to TD Jakes in this scandal. But again, if we're talking about grooming and what that looks like, he broke it down. He definitely broke it down. So thank you guys for being here. If you please hit the like button on your way out the door if you have not done so, and please subscribe to the channel, because listen, that's what we do. All right. Thank you guys, and I'm getting ready to be out. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great evening to your Christmas or holiday or however you celebrate it today. Thank y'all. Mwah.